Ford Kuga mk1, changing the brake caliper as it was seizing on. Basically I used laser pistons to push them back. These bits here, but they wouldn't go back because they're that old, as I'll show you right now. These are the old ones. The wheel's off just to save time. It's jacked up, and some of the tools to use it to get the wheel off. Comparing it with this one, it does state the L here, which is the left, but just to be sure, match up where your brake cable is going to go into the yellow bit, so it is the right way around. And look at the difference between the old and the new one. Shocking, eh? Oh, look at that. Springs are ready to go as well by the looks of it. Lovely. Anyway, this is just a quick demonstration how to actually do this. It's 6:30 in the morning, and I'm going to cut this brake cable as well, because I'm not experienced enough how to replace the brake cable, but I'm going to have to cut it because the other side is broken. But before I do that, I'm going to put 2 bricks at the front of the car. This is to stop the Kuga mk1 rolling forward. Okay, in theory. So now I should be able to release the handbrake, and it should relieve the pressure, and the car shouldn't run forward. If it does, I'm screwed. There we go, handbrake down. Now what I'm going to make an attempt to is cutting this brake cable, because the other one's already burst on the other side anyway. It's getting a new brake cable put on today, and I'm going to remove this caliper. 13mm socket set, just obviously get in the back in here and loosen off the bolts. There we go. There we go. That's how easy it should be done. Even for all that rust, it still comes off. And you want to just take this off. The nut should be, even though it's rusty on the outside, should be fine on the inside. There we go, look at that. You tip as well, put copper slip on it as well, helps to get the nuts off easier. But the inside of the nut's fine. Here we go, the attempt to cutting the brake cable. As another side's knackered anyway, so it will not make any difference. But it does mean your car will stop if it breaks. That's the only thing. There we go. I've cut through it. I think so. So now the handbrake will not work at all now. Not going to make any difference anyway. But I've clearly cut the handbrake here, because technically it's like that on the other side anyway. So I've got a new one to replace it. Now I cut the brake cable, I'm struggling to get the socket set into here. So another option is let's use spanners, and that gets in easier. Providing the screw is not too rusty. It's hard to do this with one hand. And that's it, hopefully. Actually, I need to come back to you on this. There we go. Once it's off, use your fingers. This is just changing a defect caliper that's no winding back since I bought the car 3 years ago. But they've probably never been changed at all since the car was bought in 2009. So now I should be able to get the rest off. I need to pause it now. You bit a shake and pull. Try and make this video as quickly and easy as possible. And that's it off. Now here's the meat. This is the important part. This is what was left on your disc pads. That one looks not too bad, but still it's had its days, so bye. This one still not too bad actually as well, to be fair, but I think it's had its days. Bye. And now we just need to put new ones on. Just pause it now. Takes quite a wee pull like, but we want to try and pull the brake cable just gently and try to release it off this old nut. That's the hardest bit, especially when they've been changed for 10 years. But I finally got it clicking, so I need to be quick here. Finally got the old one off. Took me less than 10 minutes. It's more like fighting with the bolt, hardest thing. But I need to hurry up and get this back on because it's now dripping. I don't know what that draining dry, or your reservoir will go down and your brakes will be fucked next. So I need to re-bleed them all again. So I need to get this new one on. I'll get back to you in a minute with that. There we have it. The new one's on. I just need to go upstairs, get a cloth and clean up the brake fluid because it's not really good to be mixing brakes, brake fluid with brake car. Very little spilt. I just need to actually, once I put the fastener on and put the brake pads on, this is the old one here. The problem was I used the laser pistons. These wouldn't go roll back. The pistons wouldn't actually go right back in. They kept on sticking to a point. So clearly there's a fault with it. I think truly it's had its days. It's probably been on the car since 2009 and probably does need replaced compared to the new one. It's actually quite easy to do. It took me 10 minutes to do. Let's see this wee valve thing here. That'll be the same on this one here. Sorry, I'm not going to touch the phone too much because I'm all covered in grease. We need to open that and I'll let the brake fluid come through that a wee bit, that wee nib. Once it comes through that, then we know the brake's fully loaded and hopefully a few pumps of the brake, and that should actually make the brake work again. Clearly when buying the new brake pads, you want to get the right one for the right car, but just to make sure, match the back of them with the old ones. As you can see, they're the same. Okay, second tip is, before you put them in, a wee bit of copper slip on the back of here. This is to prevent when the what do you call it, the piston presses against it, when you're pressing against the brake, basically it'll stop the car from squealing a lot every time you press on dry brakes. Does help. Copper slip, as I said, on the back, like so. Mix it in and place them in. Place the copper slip on. Basically my hands were a bit dirty there, so I had to clean it. I forgot to bring a rag with me. But there's your old ones and there's the new ones at the front. Okay, copper slip on. These are your old ones, so you can quite see the difference. If I was to put that against here, turn it that way, line it up. There you go, so you see the difference right away. Get what I mean? And it's a matter of just putting the brake caliper back on just to make sure. I'll give this a wee wipe to make sure it's not leaking as well. And it seems to be fine. As I said, there's the old brake cable there from the previous bit of the attachment here. So now the brakes don't work, the handbrake doesn't work, but hopefully that'll be getting replaced today, so hopefully that'll solve a lot of the issues. Now just give it a quick crank up. Using the old bolts because I forgot to get new ones, but they'll be fine. They've lasted for 10 years on the car, so I'm sure they'll be fine now. So when they're shredded, it's a bit of a cunt to get them off, excuse the language. There you go, that's one on. And two on. And now we have it. Brake cable here, that's been cut, but as I say, it's getting replaced today. And there you go, that's your new rear brake. Now what I need to do now is release this wee valve and open it up so it bleeds into the brake. There you go, that's opening the valve now. Superb, eh? Just what I wanted right in front of the camera, eh? That stupid thing. And we have an issue. I'll tell you what the issue is. It's not going to bleed. I need to put gravitational force into it, and that's not going to bleed. Brilliant. Now see that? I've took it right off, but how we'll get the fluid coming out in a minute. Hold on, there we go, it's dripping. There we go, it's dripping. So hopefully I put this back on. There we go. As it's coming through now, look at my finger. So it's fine, I don't need to bleed it. That's it, fine. So that should have filled up that. But realistically, just to make sure, you should actually use probably, sorry 2 seconds, just entered my garage. I might actually just do that just to make sure it's went through. A hydraulic brake clutch bleeder kit. Inexpensive, but helps to push the fluid through the wee tube and bleed through. But hopefully that should be enough to make the brake work. But we'll find out now.